morning. Welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Friday, the 21st day of June, 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here with yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily graphics: 7.3 million Ghanaians face poverty, have no access to education, health, and employment. Ghana Statistical Service report, and it comes with the photograph of the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kobina Enim. Africans must own logistics and shipping space. McDan provide selfless leadership to reverse difficulties. Bishop Dogbe tells government. Constituency Watch is on the Tema East constituency. It says NPP heaven and fishing hub. Ghanaian Times: healthcare delivery challenge. Patients stranded at hospitals nationwide as laboratory technicians lay down tools. Increased revenue mobilization to build robust economy. Professor Festus Ebo-Texin. 2,560 women dying of breast cancer annually in Ghana alarming. Dr. Wiafi Adey. Ambulance case, AG Jakpa WhatsApp conversation admitted in evidence. Daily Guide: 2.37 million euros ambulance case. I declared war on Dami Jakpa. Bawumia's Kaye trainees pass out. NDC MPs abandon parliament for Atufosim. Satekpe Shariati sabotage ambulance project. KNUST VC gets 2 more years. New weekend crusading guide. Jakpa says under cross-examination, I declared war on AG after I lost submission of no case. I told AG that I'll use my underworld skills to pay him back and deal with him. 600 Kaye complete NEIP skills training project. Africa needs more robust public transport system. Ofore Siama. Expedite passage of affirmative action bill. Gender Minister urges Parliament. 1 week observance of Dr. Free Akoto's mother, Saturday, 29 June. The Insight: Mahama attacks Bawumia, says presidency not for comedians. Rob Roy, independent presidential hopeful, promises millions of jobs, housing, food, and others. At last, lawyer Sosu's maternity leave extension bill ready for Gazette. Amrahia chief, Mankralo, accused police officers of human rights abuse. The Informer: rising cost of living, Ghana, Nigeria, hard hits. Red alert, another smear agenda against special prosecutor hatched. NDC 2024 campaign, targeted message, respectful tone, critical. Professor Alabi. Election 2024, ignores superficial attributes. Christian councillor admonishes electorates. Mahama attacks EC again, says it's bias. The Inquisitor: craze to partner Bawumia for 2024, smoothness level in MPP. After NIB report became public, evil agenda plan for preferred NAPO. Senseless cry over NDC campaign team. Stop press: high-profile grimy agenda against special prosecutor in the offing. Details soon. COSA tours northern Upper East regions to inspect government development projects. Ghana drops in World Bank audit institutions ranking. The Herald: Jakpa accuses Attorney General of falsifying evidence, alleges hostile judge, and indicts Tekpe, late Shariati. JP Amewu to justify his Huawei parliamentary victory on Wednesday, but EC says it has no witness to call. Why Haruna Idris Muntaka others not in NDC national campaign team? YEA Kayaye Skills Empowerment Program graduates first cohorts. Ghanaian businesswoman rubbishes theft, corruption, deception claims. The Daily Statesman: South Africa's unity key to our progress, says Akufo-Addo. Wager Children's Hospital to enhance pediatric care. Trade Minister seeks increased Chinese investments in Ghana. Mahama is Ghana's most corrupt VIP. The Daily Searchlight: storm brews over extension of Auditor General's appointment. Questions over bogus NIB poll on MPP running mate issue. GBA should reduce fees for adoption. Kujo. Academic City United Way Ghana partner to advance renewable energy education. John Mahama's bodyguard allegedly assaults TESCON organizer. The Ghanaian Publisher: Baumia running mate. Government rubbishes bogus NIB survey. What is really at stake in the 2024 elections? Part 3. Ambulance case. Court admits Jakpaeji WhatsApp chats into evidence. Gender Minister pushes for passage of affirmative action bill. The new finder. CD risk further pressure when Ghana resumes debt servicing. Professor Mensah. Ghana fails to meet HIV reduction target in 10 years. Heat wave claims lives of Ghanaian pilgrims in Saudi Arabia. First batch of Kaya graduates from NEIP skills training program. Daily Post. CJ orders the most senior Court of Appeals judge, Justice Jamefe, to hand over docket in Kusi Boatin, aka Poledu Jemfi versus Ablakwa case. Hey, Sammy, you are in trouble. I will probe and reclaim stolen state lands under Akufo-Addo when elected, Mahama vows. We are now under one day, one scandal government. Martin Pebu fumes. The Catholic Standard. Let's end destructive Galamsey menace. Archbishop Kofi. ICGC awards Father Campbell. Education programs must be consistent. Bishop Jamefi. Stop killing the earth with plastics. Priest urges Ghanaians. Cardinal Napier calls on African Synod delegates to be radical images of God. An editorial. Artificial intelligence, terrifying or creative double-edged tool. And that's about it. For the front pages, we'll be back shortly. Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning, okay. A brother I haven't seen in a long while, eh? Okay, sometimes we meet in traffic. He's a member of parliament for the Secondary constituency and also the Honorable Minister of Tourism. Okay, I don't know which level he's going to take the ANCOS. Is that the right word? ANCOS. ANCOS. That's the right word.
Yes,
right?
ANCOS. Yes.
ANCOS. I don't know where the level is going to take ANCOS to. Okay, but for those of you in the Secondary grade, I'm sure you understand what I am saying or what I'm talking about. Andrew Japa Mesa is here with us on the show. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. It's been a long while.
Yes.
I appeared on my favorite TV show. I believe it's been since February, right?
Yes.
Indeed, when the president announced that he was sending me to the tourism ministry, consistent with my own protocols that when you're preparing for vetting, you stay away from the public view. Okay. I decided to hold off for a bit. And then it turns out that the approval process took forever.
They made you a squatting.
The Speaker of Parliament was unhappy with a certain communication. And so...
Cease and desist.
Obviously, the context was not highlighted. It was only that phrase that became the most topical. But as far as I'm concerned, that communication was pretty clear. That let's abide by the processes that have commenced and await the outcome before we proceed. But be that as it may, sometime in May, I believe, Parliament was recalled and were duly approved. And so I've started work actively, indeed, even before the approval as representative of the President at the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture. And subsequently, when we were approved, I believe on the 20th of May, it's been running around all over the place trying to abide by the President's admonition for us
exactly
to go and make an impact. Yes, exactly a month ago. It didn't even dawn on me. Yeah, so it's good to be back. I'm sure I'll stay with you the rest of the year and hopefully continue going forward so long as the good Lord himself grants us life and strength.
Right. Also with me on the show this morning is a man who's been in the news almost every single day the last 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, so he's made the front pages too. And there's even a matter on the front page of the Daily Post that I'm sure he ought to be concerned about. I don't know if his blood pressure has shot up a few notches as a result of that. But he's a member of parliament for the Northern constituency, also ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee in Ghana's parliament. The Honorable Samuel Kujato Ablakwa is here with us on the show. Good morning, Sammy.
Hi, good morning, Doc. Good to see you.
How are you able to afford a smile?
By the grace of God. You know, I have always believed in the grace of God. You know.
Although you ditched the gospel for politics.
Oh, I did my best as SU Vice President, as head of the evangelical team, and I'm now doing a lot more politics, but it's all for God and country.
But of course, I mean, being in politics is not variance with the gospel.
Exactly, it's not. It's not.
Except that
not.
Sometimes for the likes of Sammy and Co, the observation may seem like the politicalness more at variance with the religion.
It shouldn't be.
But that's according to him.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Mischief.
Anyway, well, if you're
The diabolics are too much.
if you're thinking of getting a toothpaste for the entire family, top quality, very affordable, the recommended family toothpaste is KL 360 toothpaste. This is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. KL 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. KL 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using KL 360 toothpaste. KL 360 toothpaste brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mint gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use KL 360 toothpaste. KL 360 toothpaste is another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasu. It's available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. Call Samara Company on 0246 864 798. KL 360 toothpaste, happy smile. And enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. The pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging irrespective of your age, but worry no more. Lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple, self-supported elevator for both homes and offices, and guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakumono or just call them on 0200535515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movement. Yaba, what's the apart from the title, what's the difference between being a deputy minister and a minister?
A lot.
I want to know your experience, your reality.
Well, as a minister, you attend cabinet.
Okay.
And that's a huge difference.
Okay.
You take decisions. You are responsible for the ministry and all its agencies that are under your mandate. Of course, as deputy minister, you only work under the instructions of your substantive minister. So there's a world of difference between the two. If you ask me, responsibilities that are placed on your shoulder is relatively higher. You have to account directly to His Excellency the President and Cabinet for your sector. When issues come up, you are called upon to answer. So, for example, last week, I believe there was some publication by one Professor Mafo about his experience at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, which
okay. I missed it.
In his view, is not being maintained
properly.
Yeah.
So soon?
So I got a call from the Office of the President that, hey, this has come to the attention of the President and he wants a full briefing on it. So I had to take a trip there and see for myself what the issues were. they are not major.
Okay.
Except that, I guess, so for example, I paint the house practically every year, sometimes twice, depending on how your offices
mess up the place.
You mess up the place. But you wouldn't ordinarily get that in the public sector. And so you see, mess on walls, which you see tissue papers on toilet floors and stuff like that. You see a torn carpet here and there. You see a few towels come off and they won't replace, if you like. And that takes away something from the facility. And so, good observation that came. We've acted on it. And they have up to the end of the month to rectify all the issues that my own inspection identified. And it is my intention to report as has been directed today when we go for cabinet. So there's a wealth of experience, difference between the two. And obviously the work content from what I've been doing in the past 3.5 years, if you like, is slightly different. Where you're always saddled with upstream issues, downstream power, and all of that. Because my minister that I worked with, Dr. Prempeh, felt that it has to be an all-inclusive portfolio. And so there was no designation that you are responsible for petroleum or power, as some ministers had in the past managed the Ministry of Energy. So it was a whole gamut of issues that is thrown at you at every point in time that you needed to deal with. And I believe that the learning under him has served me well and will serve me well at the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. And it's my intention to attach the requisite seriousness to the office, try and make some change, albeit within a very short time. That I'll be there.
Has any of the things you've seen from being the president's rep to 1 month as the substantive minister surprised or shocked you?
Well, not necessarily, because I've been in at the ministry for like I said, as deputy minister for 3.5 years. So I know the culture, if you like. It's a little laid back, and of course, coming from the private sector, when I got in first, it was, even though we knew or we heard about it, I didn't have a direct experience with how the public sector operates. So not necessarily a shock, but I guess that under the leadership of Dr. Prempeh at the Ministry of Energy, the attitude, was much more positive. So that's what I'm intended on instilling in the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture to try and I believe that if public service officers, and this is very candid and it's not intended to slight anybody, I think that if we put in even 30% of effort.
30% more.
I'm not sure we do 30%
okay.
now.
Okay.
So I'm saying
even if
we do 30%, I think it go a long way to change the fortunes of our country. And we should all try.
So this observation has been made over the years about the fact that, look, forget about the natural resources, this, that, but that it's really tourism, arts, and culture that really holds the key. We're referred to how other countries have turned that around and made that really the main thing. I don't want to say cash cow, but the main thing. And we also, one of the things I found out in this country is that we all the time want to be seen as people who are abreast with global trends. So when people are speaking, we also speak, but we don't act it. And so you see that, for example, we'll get a nomenclature right, naming the ministry with all the relevant, yes, tourism, arts, and culture. But when it comes to what we commit to, what we actually do, it appears to be zero or little. I don't know what you have found out, really. And this is because you've been distant in terms of policy and implementation and even knowledge in that sector. But being there over this period, I'm sure that you would have seen a lot that you perhaps would have been surprised, that you perhaps didn't know that this sector could do so much, and yet we're not attaching so much importance or not backing our words with actions.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. My admission of lack of knowledge of the sector almost got me in trouble, I believe, on UTV or something. I heard they almost skinned me alive.
Oh, really? Really?
But
you're not an expert.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't think we should forget about our natural resources space.
Oh, yes. No, they are mutually inclusive.
Absolutely.
It's just how to.
And so we rather ought to refocus probably the deployment of what we generate from our natural resources into some of these sectors, including tourism, arts, and culture. Because, say, job creation, for example, there's a huge opportunity in the creative space for jobs. Entry level is very low. I went to Latif Abubakar's production at the National Theatre. He was telling me that that production over a 4-day period employed 130 people.
Yes.
And that's not our culture.
Yes. That's a gig economy.
Yeah. So imagine if there were several productions every week. And
which should be the case.
Which should be the case.
Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine. The number of jobs that it can
Uncle
create.
Ebu White is just about turning 70.
There you go. And look at the jobs that he's created. I've been having discussions with Nana Fridwa, National Theatre.
Yes.
It's an
pushing and doing
opportunity
his bit,
waiting to happen. But we don't, unfortunately. But then again, Randy, you need to look at the resource envelope and the expectation of the people.
You said something interesting right now. You spoke about the resources from the natural resources.
Yeah.
And where we apply them. Okay. So from your previous portfolio at Energy, that obviously made you take quite a number of trips to UAE and other places. Now look at how UAE is spending the revenues from oil, where they are investing it.
Yeah.
Because they know that that particular resource.
Saudi Arabia has started.
Yes. Everybody is looking at the UAE model now.
Yes, everybody is.
And look at where they are positioning their countries as tourist destinations and everything. Look at how much Qatar spent just trying to change people's views and minds and make the place a tourism destination or a tourist destination and all that. So the application of the resources, just look at the UAE model.
Before we came on air, we were talking about the National Cathedral, right?
Yes.
I was in Barcelona for the UN Tourism Conference about a week and a half ago. And I visited the Barcelona Cathedral.
Right.
And I hear it's been in the works for over 100 years.
True.
There's a lot of money going in there. But even an attempt to put up a facility like that in our country generated a whole lot of brouhaha because of the narrow view that we took to that project. Some termed it as the president's own, my good friend Samuel Kujeto led that chorus. President's personal pledge to God.
That's what we were told.
Wait. I don't think that that's what the president necessarily said. But to the point of investing in things that maybe today may not have that touristic value, but in 5-10 10 years would have. So medium to long-term view of the kind of investments that we do, the model that you speak to, of course, look at the numbers that they have there, the level of development and all of that, and how then, of course, even the volumes of oil that they have and the revenue that they generate from there, ours pales into insignificance when you compare to UAE, Saudi Arabia, and all the other places. But there's a lot of oil within our shores, and we have to accelerate the exploration consistent with the energy transition time frame and all of that, so that we can deploy the resources in areas such as tourism, arts, and culture. Because always, and when you were introducing me, you left out the arts, arts and culture bit. Why? Because the focus is always on tourism.
My mind is still worked on chieftaincy, chieftaincy, art and culture.
But it's really the
that nomenclature is still
and the arts that provide the content for people to want to come to our country. And so a lot of attention ought to be paid to those two key components as well. I think that we're working on a few things that's
the platform upon which tourism thrives.
Absolutely.
I mean, the infrastructure and all those things are just there, like the superstructure.
And of course, the investment in hotel accommodation and all of this.
And the low-hanging fruits, all the forts, castles, and things that we have. Some of them is just the access road.
And that's
provision
really,
of some washroom facilities. A few, there are low-hanging fruits where we don't need
a lot of resources to deploy in that. And our forts and castles really, they are World Heritage Sites, 28 of them scattered across our coastline. And there's a UNESCO World Heritage property.
My biggest issue in that sector, and I raise it here, I don't know if it's come to attention whether there's a plan to do something about it. Look, for all the countries that boast of huge tourism numbers, domestic tourism itself is huge.
Yes.
And the external ones build on them. In Ghana, it becomes difficult because even the cost of accommodation is incredible.
But Randy, it all boils down to demand and supply. That's where I was coming.
But at the end of the day, the last time I checked, we have over 20 taxes and levies on the hospitality industry. Over 20.
So, okay, there's only one levy that directly relates to tourism.
Yes.
Yeah. Every other tax is what everybody else pays when you assess every service or purchase any goods in Ghana.
No.
It is.
No, I can give you the
No, I'm
breakdown.
coming. Of course, there's this added EPA and all
Gamro,
those other
things. A lot of them.
There are quite a few that you're right. Okay, but
it's only in that sector
so
that
the
district
point
assembly will get you.
Of course, I mean, it's your property.
State will get you.
And
agencies will get you.
So the point that my engagement with the hoteliers have highlighted is really some single levy that then is distributed amongst. So there's a task force that, in fact, it preceded me, that is working to try and see how we harmonize all the various agencies that are involved to get some common one, if you like, tariff that then is split within, in some proportions for everybody to benefit. So we're working on it to see how we harmonize that. But beyond that, every other, the COVID and the VAT, NHIS, and all that is just common across all the service providers in our country.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we've had a little or a sneak peek into the sector. Oh yeah. When I see ministers and stuff, I like to take advantage to find out a lot more and learn a lot more about the sector. All right, son of man,
Doc,
you've been becoming a hospitality consultant. You led a demonstration. Okay. And for me, beyond the issues that you're advocating about the hotels, the issue of even the trade fair and all that came up, the beachfront and all those things came up and all that. But you've had a demonstration, and then there are issues that have come up beyond the demonstration. I think the demonstration was peaceful until the end, where we had incidents of pepper spray and tear gas and all that. There was a delegation from the presidency, led by the Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Emmanuel Aduma Bosman, Carlos Ombrazi, there to receive it. And I watched you read out the petition. I don't know why that is done. Maybe there's a reason. Instead of handing over, you read everything before you hand over. Okay, so we saw that. There have been other developments, and you also on the front page say the head of the panel at the appeal court for your case has been changed, whatever that means. But your colleague, both secondary school and parliament, who was also at the center of your conflict of interest thing at the Shraj, is also daring you. And at stake is a Trasaco house and a hotel. I don't know whether the hotel is a 1-star or a 3-star or a 5-star, but you stand a chance of winning a Trasaco house and a hotel if you can prove the allegations that you've been making. Let me hear you on these issues.
Well, thank you very much. Let me extend warm regards to all our viewers and to greet the new tourism
When we
minister.
come back, I'll ask you about anchors. We didn't talk about that.
I congratulate him on his elevation.
Thank you.
And I wish him well. If he succeeds in the sector,
After making him squat for close to 2 years,
if he succeeds in the sector, it will help all of us. And indeed, these agitations are also linked to the tourism sector. Tourism cannot thrive without hospitality, without hotels. So there is a link to the success of the sector. His submissions this morning were largely positive until he touched on the National Cathedral and said that we took a narrow view. That cannot be accurate. And I will be remiss if I do not correct that on the record. It's not that we took a narrow view or lack appreciation of what a cathedral is or the potential of a cathedral. We said, if you want to carry out a national project, there are constitutional imperatives. There are other legal requirements. The principle of transparency, of accountability. Come clean. Be honest with the people. Don't tell us that this is a personal pledge to God. We will not use public funds. The president said that time without number. Even committed the eminent clergy, the board of trustees. So you had all of them saying that, look, fellow Ghanaians, we have been assured by the president he's not going to touch public funds. Indeed, when a citizen of this country, Kabila, James Kwabena Bonfair, who I know very well because we contested in the Nooks elections together, he went to the Supreme Court and said that, look, let's be careful. What if very soon the Muslims come and say they also want a national mosque? They traditionally say they want a national shrine. And that being a secular country, he thought that this project was problematic. The Attorney General, representing the government, if you read his submissions, the Attorney General said that, look, minimum contribution is just land, and that the president has made clear that they were not using public funds. We all know that for a fact. So it's not that Ghanaians had a narrow view and didn't know what a cathedral is. Only for me to intercept documents that on the blind side of Parliament, blatant violation of the Constitution, which is clear that you cannot take public funds for any project, for any use whatsoever, without parliamentary approval. Without any parliamentary approval, the finance minister, and we now know that a colossal $58.1 million without parliamentary approval. It was in none of the budgets. No approval whatsoever. $58.1 million. only for us to delve into the details. That was another can of worms. Shocking inflationary pricing by the architect David Ajayi. Totally unbelievable payments to people like Carrie Summers, $6 million to go raise funds for us. It doesn't happen anywhere. The best practice is that when you do your fundraising, you get a commission. We paid him upfront. Now, we've lost our $6 million. That pit has now become the world's most expensive pit. $58 million. And we've raised other fundamental issues of even the location. When Bishop Dakiwad Mills resigned, he said that they were not even allowed to make an input on choice of architect, to make an input on location. So in the process, look at all the properties that have been demolished. Judges' bungalows, the Judicial Training Institute, the Malian ambassador's residence, the passport head office, scholarship secretariat, Comsys IT firm, the headquarters, Waterstone Realty apartment complex, bungalows belonging to Shraj, all demolished. What value did we get? A country with such huge infrastructure deficit. So the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians are raising key issues. Issues of lack of respect for our constitution, for our laws, respect for the people. You don't tell us that you're not going to use our taxes, only for you to be actually using our taxes on our blind side. So as for the National Cathedral Project, we know that there are many, many people lined up for jail the day there will be prosecution. Many people will be ending in jail. And I pray that this new minister will take a serious view of the matter. Don't have this cavalier approach. It was a narrow view, and you go and repeat the same atrocities that have attended upon this project. Because if you go in with this attitude and you think that all is well with the project, there have been no breaches, no illegalities, and you're rather blaming the people who don't appreciate cathedrals, who have a narrow view, you are bound to continue with these gross violations. And it's Ghana that will continue to suffer. Now here we are, $58.1 million, the world's most expensive pit. No value for money. Ghanaians asked for an audit. We asked for an audit in Parliament. It's been more than a year. They can't even publish the audited accounts. They told us that they have engaged Pricewaterhouse. We are still waiting more than a year. As we speak, eminent priests, very revered, venerable priests, are shocked at the lack of accountability, the lack of transparency, and have resigned. Pastor Otabil is gone. Bishop Dakiwad Mills is gone. Archbishop Duncan Williams has left. Reverend Isud Anaba has also resigned. And read what they all wrote. I'm sure you have copies at the ministry. If you have it in your handy over notes. The shocking levels of lack of transparency. Some of them, the only crime is that they called for an audit and they won't get it. So please, these are grave matters. This National Cathedral issue, the way our laws were trampled upon, the wastage in a country where, as we speak, there are many hospitals without incubators. If you go around this morning, many hospitals without dialysis machines, without MRIs. Women are still delivering on bare floor. If, even after lying to us that you won't use our money, you decide to use it, at least even be accountable. Be judicious about the use of those resources. So it's not a matter of anybody taking a narrow view or not knowing what cathedrals represent. So let's not go there. Now let me come to the matter you want me to discuss, the demonstration, what we call the Hands Off Our Hotels demonstration. Doc, I must commend the good people of this country. To be very honest with you, the turnout was way beyond the expectation of we, the organizers. The thousands of Ghanaians who poured out on the streets this Tuesday, the 18th of June. It is still the talk in town. Everywhere I have been to, and every program I've listened to, the massive attendance, the mammoth demonstration we saw. And that should tell you that this matter of state capture, this matter of the looting of lands, the vast majority of Ghanaians are appalled, they are disgusted, and they want it to be brought to an end. Ghanaians did not miss the opportunity to register their strong displeasure at what is going on. So permit me this morning to reserve the first appreciation to the chiefs of Greater Accra, the Ga chiefs, the La chiefs. I mean, I have been involved in demonstrations for many, many years, since my activism days. My first demonstration I participated in was in 1998, the Mobrawa struggle. I was then trustee of the Greater Accra Students Representative Council. I'm yet to see a demonstration where chiefs decide to participate from the beginning to the end. I want to particularly salute Niyemo Ubroni the Seventh, the La Pa Wulomo, who led chief priests of the La State. They poured libation before the protests, asked for the blessings of our ancestors, and stayed the course up to the point we presented the petition. There's some of the chief priests who even got affected by the unfortunate tear gas and pepper spray. So this morning, I want to pay glowing tribute to the revered chiefs of the Greater Accra region who stood up to be counted. I mean, they reminded me of great stories in our history, great stories involving the lives of Nitaki Tewia, that great warrior. They reminded me of the likes of Sergeant Odate Lamte, and the likes of Corporal Atipo, who stood up to resist oppression. The likes of Ne Kwabena Boni, who, without that mass action against the colonialists, probably independence would not have come as early as 1957. So the Ga leaders demonstrated once again that they are warriors, patriots, who, when it really matters, they will stand up to be counted. I also want to thank the TUC, Comrade Na Sechere Adefio was with us throughout the demonstration. She and her colleagues from Organized Labour, the Ghana Federation of Labour, they were in attendance. Comrade Abraham Kumsin and others, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. I want to salute the United Gadangbe Council, the coalition of La Youth Groups, the Ghana Action Network, Arise Ghana, and certainly the political parties. My own party, the NDC, was well represented. The General Secretary was there, the youth organizer, and other executives of the party. The PNC was represented, quite impressively led by Comrade Bernard Mona, the presidential candidate for the PNC, the CPP, and all the progressive forces who joined us, members of the Socialist Movement of Ghana, who all joined us to declare that we have had enough of the state capture. I want to celebrate all the participants, all Ghanaians. And the message is unambiguous. The message is very, very clear. Hands off our hotels. These hotels are state assets. State assets, particularly built from workers' contributions, should not be sold without the consent of workers. On the 20th of May, TUC put out a statement after my expose, stating emphatically, and I have a copy of their statement here, that their 4 reps on the Senate board protested against this sale and said that the sale should not go ahead. They thought that the sale had been stopped until my expose on the 17th of May this year. And so they renewed their resistance, their protests, and said that they were not going to allow it. We've heard the chiefs, the Ga chiefs, the La chiefs, who say that they have not been consulted. They offered land virtually for free for these hotels because they knew it would create jobs, it would be a growth pole, it would serve the larger society. And yet, now that 60% of SNIT shares, which are our shares, being sold to a cabinet minister, they have not been engaged. The chiefs have not been consulted. And that is why in their fury, in their rage, they did not mince words at all during the demonstration. And if you look at what is happening all over, this demonstration, Doc, has highlighted the shocking state capture, particularly in the area of lands all over the place. A few days to the demonstration, I received a call from management at the Parks and Gardens, who said they went to work one day and somebody shows up. Parks and Gardens, Switchback Road, DVLA, prime location. Somebody shows up asking them to move, that he is the new owner. The number of directors, chief directors who have called, that they've received letters, including judges. They receive letters 2 weeks to move. We'll give you 1 year rent. Go and look for wherever you can find to rent. Parks and Gardens tells us that their Upper West regional capital land has also been sold. The wanton sale of lands all over. Sale of bungalows. They are demolished, they are raised down, and they are just sold in a short while. Doc, are you aware that as we speak, the prison service is next? All those buildings, the barracks near the Osu runabout. Dankwa Circle area, yeah. They have been asked to move. We've given them up to July. It's now for a private developer. So the revelations are shocking. This morning, on my way here, I get a call from folks at the Boster Institute area, Roman Rich. They say they've been asked to move. It's also been sold, including Boster Institute land. So, this demonstration has highlighted the shocking levels of state capture. It has also revealed in the process how Labadi Beach Hotel, for example, has lost its beachfront. And that is a matter I'm happy to continue to raise, despite the threats from the Blay family. And I've asked them to do whatever they want to do. They've issued ultimatums. I've said I'm not retracting the truth. When you are armed with the truth and the facts, you fear no foe, you fear no court, and you fear no judge. So, we are talking about matters that are at the heart of national development, of workers' rights, and the welfare of Ghanaian workers. These hotels we are talking about, Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm Royal, Ridge Royal, Elmina Beach Hotel, Buzia Lodge, Trust Lodge, are hotels built by workers' contributions. When workers retire, they expect that these hotels will take care of our pensions. We will get good returns. And if you look at the financial statements, copies of which I've brought here, from Deloitte, the reputable Deloitte, and you know Deloitte is, global, top 4. Top 4 globally renowned, celebrated audit firms. Labadi Beach Hotel is so profitable. Earlier on the 19th of May, Smith had issued a statement creating the impression that all these hotels are not doing well, that these hotels need a savior. That is what compelled us to go and look for the financial statements. And we have all been shocked at the levels of profitability. Labadi Beach Hotel last year posted a profit of 158 million cedis. The year before, 70.7 million Ghana cedis. Last year, Labadi Beach Hotel alone paid dividend to government 25 million. The year before, dividend of 10 million Ghana cedis. Why do you want to sell such a profitable asset, doing so well, serving all of us well, taking care of workers' pensions? And that's why in our 15-point petition to the president, we went back to history. That why are we not learning as a country? When Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown on the 24th of February 1966, that is when we started selling state assets. What have we benefited from it? Where are all those over 300 factories and industries sold? They just became properties of private people who benefited alone. We missed out on the Industrial Revolution. We missed out on opportunities to use these investments to create jobs, to industrialize, and to transform our society. Even the other hotels that are now struggling in recent years, it's a management issue. If you look at Labadi Beach Hotel's own story, that should have been the classic model to follow. So about 15 years ago, Labadi Beach Hotel was struggling. The NDC-led government decided to bring in new managers. The Liberty guys. They came, 10-year, transferred knowledge, allowed the locals to understudy them. The locals have taken over now. Indigenous Ghanaians have taken over. And the hotel is even more profitable than when the expats were managing it. It tells you that with the right management, and the irony is that the same street, just a 2 minutes walk apart, Labadi, La Palm. How can Labadi be doing so well and La Palm struggling? It's a management issue. We put out memos of the deputy MD who acted as MD and was demanding $18,000 for 6 months. Bad management practices. If you look at the assets at La Palm, they have the biggest banquet services, banquet facilities, conference facilities, the biggest number of kitchens, and all of that. Their land space, far, far bigger than Labadi. So just change the management. Stop sending, political apparatchiks, square pegs in round holes. So we know what to do. We're refusing to do it. That is why, as part of this campaign, some of us have said enough is enough. We are sponsoring a private members bill. And I want to salute colleagues who have joined me, led by the Honorable Atufosin, the minority leader, who is one of the sponsors of this bill. And Professor Kweku Azai is our consultant, doing a great job. We are saying that all politicians moving forward, enough of people taking advantage of gray areas and all of that. Totally disregarding our constitutional provisions on conflict of interest. We now want to strengthen the legal regime. And we are saying that politicians and politically exposed persons should be debarred, totally banned from participating in the purchase of state assets. And I am glad that contrary to attempts, and you saw some of those videos, there was a press conference in the Ashanti region by some young folks calling themselves Ashanti Young Democrats or something, trying to, unfortunately, tribalize this whole thing. 16 years ago, when I took on the Honorable Jacob Echebilamte and went to the Supreme Court and said that it was wrong for him to purchase his bungalow, is Jacob Echebilamte an Ashanti or an Akan? So this attempt to trivialize matters, serious issues, must stop. I have been very, very consistent that politicians, political exposed persons, it's not right. It's unethical. It's immoral. It's just morally reprehensible. These assets are under our care. I thought this discussion would be that we came to meet 6 hotels. We have maintained the 6, expanded it, we're creating more jobs. We have added 2. We have added 4. If these hotels are not good for the rest of us, they say, oh, they are making losses, they are useless, let's sell them. They are not good for us, the rest of us. But they can be good for the Honorable Bra Champong. How does that make sense? Then this claim that Honorable Bra Champong is a hotel management expert, I won't take any expertise away from him. But the question I ask is, why do we send people to cabinet? Our brother has joined cabinet. He's clearly going to bring his expertise to bear. When you read the Constitution, cabinet is a place where people go to brainstorm, share their expertise, and help us move our country forward. So you have the hotel management expertise. You will only bring it to bear if you buy the hotels, if the hotels become your private property. You won't share it with all of us to benefit our country. Is that patriotism? I mean, so whichever angle you look at this thing, it just doesn't make sense. Now I want to directly respond to the challenge that he threw after the demonstration, and I've seen that it's gone viral. A lot of folks have shared it all over the place. He has dared me. The Honorable Bra Champong has dared me. He says that I have not intercepted any GRA filings. I wrote down the things he said. That I haven't intercepted anything. Nothing. That he has nothing. He's just lying, or you're truthful. That I have nothing I've intercepted. That they haven't even filed anything at GRA. And that all I'm pursuing is hate. That's the crux of his submission. That I have nothing to show. And he has dared me to produce what I claim to have intercepted. He also added that if I'm able to produce those filings I say I have, he has a Trasago house that he doesn't use. He says he bought it in 2014. He doesn't even use it. So he's happy to donate it to me. And he said that's not enough. He's so confident that I don't have anything. He added a hotel. And let me state for the record, I think he missed his bearings. He said, Akosombo Hotel in my constituency. You know, and some people have sent me messages say, oh, when he came to your constituency to buy a hotel, you didn't tell us, you didn't talk about it, you didn't protest. But he's doing it in Accra and you are making noise. Let me state for the record that Akosombo Hotel is not in my constituency. It's in the eastern region, in Esojaman, the Esojaman constituency. It's next door to my constituency. From Esojaman, then you use the Adome Bridge, and then you enter Joapon. But it's not in my constituency. And it's quite revealing. I didn't know that the VRA has sold Akosombo Hotel to him. So we are grateful that he has offered that information. So, Doc, I can this morning, exclusively on your show, produce the filings at GRA. I want the Honorable Brad Champon to know that when I say I've intercepted something, I have truly intercepted. And he should have been following me by now, that I don't talk about things that I don't have. When I say I've intercepted, I've intercepted. So I've been generous to make copies for the Honorable Ijapa Mensah, so you know that I am not...
Is it for onward transmission?
It's for the show, so that, Doc, you can also have yours. Yes. So...
What is this?
I hold in my hands the filings of Rock City at GRA. What the Honorable Brad Champon is saying, I don't have. So, when I said that I have the filings, I have them. And here they are, giving you copies. Now, if you come with me to, let's analyze the documents. I'll do that quickly. I know we don't have much time. Come to 2021, and I've marked them so that it will be easy. Let's start from 2021.
Hold on.
Yeah.
See, some of these things...
He challenged me.
Oh, wait. I've opened the document.
Yeah.
You make statements that put people's reputation in jeopardy, and you fall in trouble. Page, assuming that this was even authentic, I don't have a problem at all. This can never be accounts, annual returns. Yeah, because that's the only time that you make a determination about the profitability or otherwise of a company. You file your annual returns with your audited accounts at GRA and, of course, Registrar General's Department. You are withholding tax credit forms for January, withholding tax credit form for February, withholding tax for, according to him, 2020.
Take your time and study the document.
And these are tax violations.
Of course, 2024 has not ended.
No. So let me proceed. Let me proceed.
Anyway, if the Honorable Minister for Agric is watching, I'll bring him a copy so he can take the requisite action on this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I brought you a copy.
For some time.
Can I? You have your turn. You know the format of the program. You have your turn to speak.
Right.
So.
Randy.
So don't shift the goalposts. The Honorable Minister for Food and Agriculture says that I have not intercepted anything. I don't have anything from GRA. I don't have the filings. Here are the filings. The taxpayer ledgers of Rock City Hotel. The tin is there. The corporate income tax declarations and all the other payee and the withholding tax and all of that. The full documents from 2021 to 2024.
We're still in 2024.
Yes, we're still
in 2024. So first quarter 2024.
Yes. So in 2021, if you come to 2021, on the 12th of March 2021, first quarter, Rock City.
Sami, brotherly advice.
Rock City filed returns.
Just give us
please. I have been there.
Yes.
I've been there.
I'm giving you a brotherly advice.
You can keep your advice. Don't worry.
Give us like a summary.
Yes,
2021, what is the point you're making?
Yes. So 2021, 12 March 2021, they posted returns that they said that year they will make losses. So when we talk about the loss making Rock City, 2021.
I think it's the last.
So 12 March 2021. Then 2 years later, they return on the 9th of March 2023 and do a debit adjustment that they had 2 withholding taxes, which came up to 20,782. And that's all you have for 2021. So they themselves told the GRA on the 12th of March that year they will make losses. Then let's come to 2022, when we say that if you compare the books of Rock City with Labadi Beach
But where did they say they will make losses on this document that you are informing the public about?
Have you seen
this
12 March?
2021, 12 March. It says
Process returns.
Wait.
Yes.
Process returns for 2021.
Yes.
0.
Yes. 0.
And that's informing GRA that they will make losses.
Yes, that there will be no profits. Yes, for the year. You can go and consult an accountant. We have done that. Our accountants have looked at these documents, and that is it. That is the fact. Yes. You said I didn't have anything, isn't it? Yeah, and you did. Then let's come to 2022. 2022 is very, very interesting. Again, in 2022, as for 2022, there were no filings at all, if you notice. No filings at all. Then I break this news. I go to Shraj on the 17th of May. I broke the news here on this show. The following week, they rushed to the GRA. So you see here, 23rd May 2024, that we now want to come and make do our tax obligations for 2022, for 2 years ago. So you have it here, 23rd May.
2022, by the rules, you have a date to file.
Yes, they should have filed by June of 2023. Okay. They didn't.
So if they filed for 2022 on the 23rd May of 2024,
by the rules, they have to pay a penalty.
I understand.
Yes.
Well, what I want to find out is, how then did they have a tax clearance in the...
Brilliant question.
Yes.
I was coming there.
Okay, all right. Yes.
Brilliant.
Okay.
So it means that when they put in the bid, they clearly didn't have a tax clearance certificate.
Maybe they had.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe they had, but the GRA they must explain if
they must explain how. Brilliant question, Doc. You know. So you see here that after my expose, they go to GRA 23rd May 2024 and say, oh, we will post losses. We made losses for 2022. Then they went back again the same day and said that, no, we are changing that fact. We believe that if you process the profit we made, we can pay a tax liability of 395,000 Ghana cedis. Bizarre. And so on that 23rd May, they are then asked by GRA to pay a penalty of 4,390 Ghana cedis. Very, very bizarre. Okay. The question that follows is, so according to the Senate statement that was put out on the 19th of May, a copy of which I have here, if you look at the timelines, they said they started this process in 2018, got a transaction advisor in 2018. Then they started the bid for the hotel purchase, the tender for the sale of the hotels in 2022. So you hadn't filed your taxes for 2 years. How did they get a tax clearance certificate to participate in the bid?
When you get to, have you moved
Yes.
to 2023?
I'm coming. I'll be coming there.
Because I have a question to ask.
On 2023.
Yes.
So for
are you done with 2022?
Yeah. So 2022. Okay. It was after my expose that they hurriedly rushed to GRA, and they went there twice. First, they said, "Oh, we made losses in 2022." Then they went back and said, "No, the trajectory, the way this MP is going, we made some profit." So they amended the records. And they were fined. This is the penalty that they paid, 4,390. So significant developments after my petition to Shraj. Now let's come to 2023. The 2023 filings. For 2023, they filed on the 20th of April 2023, first quarter, after first quarter, that they will make losses that year. So for last year, they said that they will make losses. They don't anticipate that they will make any profits. And it's here. Process returns for 2023, reference number C00064468833. So when I said that what you have told GRA about your operations last year is that you will make no profit, and you are now going to buy a Labadi Beach Hotel making a profit of 158 million, it should have been the other way around. Labadi Beach Hotel is more profitable. I was speaking to the documents. I was speaking to the intercepted filings at the GRA. Fact. And it's here. Now come with me to 2024, this year.
No, before you go to 2024,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
So if you look at the 2023 filing,
Yes.
2023,
Yes.
you would see, I see something here which suggests that the last thing that was done as far as 2023 was concerned was the 10th of April 2024.
Yes.
As far as the filings of 2023.
Yes.
The last one
Yes.
was on page 614, 10th April 2024, which is a withholding tax credit. Have you seen that?
Page 6.
Yes, 6
Yes.
of 14.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes. I've seen
Okay. So for 2023, by the 10th of April 2024, they've done their filings. Not so?
Yes.
So that was the latest date.
That's the latest date. Yes.
This is for the year 2023. Not so? The year 2023. So by 10th of April 2024, that of 2023.
No, this one is for withholding tax.
Yes.
Not the corporate income tax.
Yes, but I'm saying that this for the year 2023.
Yeah.
This was the last transaction
Yes.
with the tax office.
Yes.
10th of April 2024. Not so?
Yes.
For the year 2023.
Yes.
However, when you come to the year 2022, a year earlier,
Yeah.
the filing was 23rd May 2024.
Yes.
Later than the filing for 2023.
Exactly.
Okay.
Brilliant.
That's just the thing I saw.
Yes, yes, and you're right.
Okay.
Because for 2022, they were not bothered at all. They didn't do anything until my Shraj petition. Then they ran to
they went
Shraj.
to do for 2022
Yes.
when they had even finished 2023.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And then when you come to 2024, again, you see that by 31st March 2024, they had informed GRA that we
That's
don't...
Q1.
Q1, yes. That we don't expect to make profit this year. That's what they told GRA. Then after my petition to Shraj, they go back 24th May 2024 and say, oh, do a debit adjustment. Do an adjustment for us. We think that things are looking good.
24th May of what?
24th May 2024.
They go and do an adjustment for which year? First quarter
for the year.
First quarter 2024.
Yes.
So that's which date?
24th May 2024.
Which date did they go to do the adjustment for 2022?
The same 24th May. So they were very busy that 24th May.
All right.
Very, very busy.
Okay.
So look, the Honorable Brad Champon should. He's just muddying waters for himself. So that Trazaco house and the hotel, I'm tempted to go for it, but I really don't want anything from him. Maybe the displaced people in my constituency will be upset with me that we could have gotten a hotel and a Trazaco house for them to go and stay in. But I'm not doing this for personal gain. It's not about me. It's about Ghana. But you see, from all the doc, you have been following our work. I always share them with you. I mean, even cabinet memos we intercept. Even you, I remember when we were in power, sometimes we wonder, hey, how did Randy Abbey get these documents? Woyome, you were the resource pool. You had everything. I'm sure as soon as the Attorney General signs a document, Finance Minister signs, you have it. So, don't know, Brad Champon bragging and screaming that, oh, I dare him. He doesn't have anything. Even cabinet memos. People have it. National Cathedral, when they told the whole country that they were not using public funds, how did we expose them? We intercepted the documents. Recently, AFCON, when the sports ministry was treating AFCON like some nuclear code. I mean, didn't I intercept the documents? So I don't know who advised him. Now his Trazaco house and his hotel are on the line. I mean, what kind of recklessness is that?
I'm not so sure. He's made a lot of...
Just hold on a minute.
Very well.
Just hold on a minute. We'll take a break. You didn't comment on...
the Blay family.
No, the appeal...
Yeah, I'll come to that. I want to deal with that separately.
So we'll take a break. When we return, we'll hear the Honorable Mesa on this one. We'll be back shortly. Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have the Honorable Andre Japa Mesa and the Honorable Sami Okujeto Ablakwa. Ayesoko, that could somebody be big, but Betway's cash out be bigger. Betway is giving you more control of every thrilling bet you place. Enjoy the biggest and most reliable cash out in Ghana on Betway without any hassle. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. This is not for persons under 18 and is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more. And Blue Jeans energy drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy, as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans energy drink has been tested and tried. It's indeed the best. Blue Jeans energy drink is for bold and active men and women. So go and grab a cold can and power your day. It's in shops nationwide, and you can reach Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190 055 001 0000. Now, Mesa, let me hear you on issues. Yes.
Some of the issues that Sami
on the cathedral
raised on the National Cathedral,
Please do.
which essentially is a re-litigation of the matter
Please do.
that he placed before the censure committee, of which I was a member, and all the allegations that he made against Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta as having breached the law was really not established, because the Honorable Finance Minister demonstrated beyond any shred of doubt that, yes, there were no specific budgetary allocations that have been made for the project items, but there were contingency-related expenditure that, as Finance Minister, he had the power of law. The Appropriations Act that you passed gave him that power to make it these expenditures, and consistent with that approval, he went ahead to do them. Your quest for him to be removed did not succeed. Indeed, and in fact, since I went into the sector, I think, or I have a view, that maybe the way the National Cathedral was structured could have been better. Okay, in terms of as to whether the trustees shouldn't have operated under the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board, for example, which clearly is a state agency. It's the President's commitment with original intent of sourcing private sector with seed funding from the state to prepare the land and all other things, as far as I'm concerned, was legitimate. But you see, obviously, the exciting bit for him, which he keeps harping on, is the world's most expensive pit, because it suits his politics. And that's why I referred to the position that you took as narrow. Oh no, that's exactly what you're doing. It suits your politics because, and he's found the question, interestingly, that something that he claims to be private pledge of the president to God, that the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture should come and answer questions on some funding that has been generated, what it has been used for. And I ask myself that how can one man who is claiming that this is somebody's private pledge now file a question asking the Minister of State to provide information on the uses of monies that have been generated from a private project? So it seems to me that he himself acknowledges that indeed and in fact, the National Cathedral project cannot be a personal pledge of an individual to God. It's a state property, and appropriately, questions relating to it ought to be asked by members of parliament. But we'll deal with that matter when we get there. Okay, it's unfortunate that out of the 18 or so, or in excess of 20 trustees of the National Cathedral, some have resigned. But a substantive number of them are still working assiduously to ensure that the vision that His Excellency the President had is achieved. And we'll keep at it to see where it is that we get to. It's interesting I'll deal with the issue of the profitability of the Labadi Beach that he claims is 150 million. Is that what you said?
Million.
158 million in what year?
Last year, their
Labadi Beach Hotel.
Labadi Beach 23. Yeah, their financials. Yeah, from Labadi Beach Hotel. I have a copy here.
Yeah, you can project it for us to see, because in 2023, Labadi Beach in fact made a turnover of 210,871,394, and a net profit after tax of 51 million. So where's the 150 million?
So you are talking about net profit. I'm talking about gross profit.
But is that what's the meaning of gross profit?
No.
The profitability of an entity is determined as per its net profit. But you put the figure
It's
out
still
there.
making profit.
So why did it? No, but nobody has said it's making losses.
Have you read the 19th Net statement?
Oh, please. I have the profitability of Labadi Beach and all the 6 hotels from 2009 to 2023. And in fact, the only dividends that Labadi Beach has paid to SNET over the 15-year period is 48 million Ghana cedis. 1.5% investment return. Randy, you heard me. 1.5% return on investment for SNET.
Yeah,
If you had an
we should sell it.
Oh, I'm coming. You see, Randy, we live in this country, and I'm glad that he says he started his activism in 2008. But interestingly, his activism is selective. Selective amnesia, if I may borrow the words of the revered Kweku Baako. Because we live in this country. In 2011, SNET sold its majority interest in Trust Bank to EcoBank. At the time, your activism had gone under the water. SNET sold its 90% stake in First Atlantic Merchant Bank, where I was the head of legal at the time, to Kedari Capital, Nigerians. 90%. You were here as a deputy minister of the Republic. At the time, you were not, your activism.
Did any government official buy it? I don't get this. I don't get this.
You see,
this is red herring.
It's
total obfuscation.
It's a principle.
Mention a government official in the NDC administration or in cabinet who was at the center of those transactions you've listed.
See.
Because
you see, when I came,
you're sending us on a wild goose chase.
I have my constitution in my bag.
Wild goose chase.
But I was traveling out. I was sitting here when you were talking. I was sitting right here. So when I came, I grabbed a copy of your constitution. Because I've been following the gymnastics that my good friend Samuel Kujeto has been doing in the media relative to this matter. And he's going to charge, pursuant to Article 284 and 287. Oh, please. I've been through a little bit of law school, so you let me make my point. Saying that the Honorable Brian Achampong was or is in a conflict of interest position in this particular transaction. And I asked myself, really, my good friend, does he understand what conflict of interest is? Does he? But I'm sure that after he filed, and this is just only speculating, when he filed his processes at charge, it became apparent to him that he probably had misfired. And so, rather than wait for the outcome of this charge decision, he's gone on the tangent of inciting people, playing his usual political gimmicks, purely for political expediency, nothing more. Because you see, the Constitution is very clear. A public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflict or is likely to conflict with the performance of the functions of his office. What has Honorable Brian Achampong done in a public bid that has made him put himself in a conflict of interest position? In any event, who says the Constitution bars public officials from engaging in public transactions? If it was the case, why would you be seeking to sponsor a law at this time? Who says so? In fact, it is in recognition of the fact that public officers can participate in public transactions, but to ensure that they do not put themselves in an advantage position over everybody else. The reason for this provision in the Constitution. And make a declaration of your interest and recuse yourself from participating in the decision making. What rule has Honorable Brian Achampong breached? What rule? None whatsoever. So, what does my good friend Sami Okujeto, who all of a sudden, between 2009 when he was in government, or 2009, and 2016, forgot his public activism in 2024, his public activism has all of a sudden come to the fore. Randy, SNIT, as a policy, over the years, just like when they built the SNIT flats, which originally was intended to be managed by them, they realized that it was not sustainable. They took an investment decision to dispose of all their interest in the SNIT flats across the country, in every region. Between 2011 and 2013, I was on the board as secretary. You used to come and visit my good friend Kwesi Antechi when I was at the bank. As acting company secretary, First Atlantic Merchant Bank was consistent with the directives of the Bank of Ghana, out in the market looking for capitalization to increase its minimum stated capital. SNIT took a decision that, look, they want to rationalize their investments in the banking space. And so they wanted to put First Atlantic and Trust Bank together. These two banks, they had significant shareholding, and sell it off to EcoBank. The then managing director, of course, at the time, TTB had met the minimum capital requirement. First Atlantic hadn't met it. The then managing director, Mr. Arthur Judata, is still there. Asked Jerome Eshen, who was a representative of SNIT on the First Atlantic board, that look, we don't have any objection going into a measured discussion with EcoBank, but let us go in that transaction as equal partners. Immediately we finished the board meeting, Mr. Jerome Eshen went back to SNIT and they brought a check for 48 or so to acquire additional stake in the bank to enable us meet the minimum capital requirements. Coincidentally, at the time, we had engaged EM Capital, headed by Mike Ashon, to assist us raise the capital. And so Mike had brought these Kedari folks, headed by Odu Odunfa and Olu Balogun and his team, to also come and invest in the bank. So when the shareholders approved the SNIT additional investment, at the same meeting they approved the Kedari capital investment. Now, post that approval, SNIT pre-approval was going to get 90% of the shares of the bank. And so when Kedari came in, it reduced their stake to about 45, which then meant that SNIT could no longer force First Atlantic Merchant Bank to go into the measured discussions with TTB and EcoBank. Do you know what they did? Randy, do you know what they did? At the time, Mr. Okudjeto's activism was nowhere to be found. They used Bank of Ghana to force Kedari to buy SNIT out. Because as part of the processes for acquiring a significant interest in any bank in Ghana, right? Bank of Ghana needed to approve the transaction. So overnight, the shareholding structure of First Atlantic Merchant Bank changed from a Ghanaian, 100% Ghanaian-owned bank with SNIT as the majority shareholder to a Nigerian bank. At the time, your activism was nowhere to be found. And it wasn't as if it was a loss-making bank. TTB was not a loss-making bank either. In fact, if you read the EcoBank statement that they issued at the time, it was purely because of TTB's branch spread. The reason they participated in that transaction to dispose of or acquire SNIT stake in that bank. In fact, in 2013, Universal Merchant Bank, the Fortis transaction, UMB was not doing badly. Your activism was nowhere to be found. Yet you come and sit on national TV, claim to be for God and country. When it suits your interest, for God and country. But of course, at the time, it was a strategic investment decision that SNIT had taken, which was approved by their board, that dispose of all your interest in the financial sector. And of course, along the line, SGSSB was also sold. Remember? So how different is that from their decision to dispose of their interest in the hospitality industry? Such that today, because it's a company that is owned by a public officer, no law bars any public officer from participating in any transaction in this country to the extent that they make the requisite disclosures. It becomes an issue for you to go and incite Ghana chiefs, Labadi people on such dangerous path. Such dangerous path for political purpose. What are we doing to ourselves? Purely on the altar of political expediency. And you say that what? The TUC reps protested? When I'm told that the TUC rep, one of them, is the head of the procurement unit at the committee of the board, overseeing this entire process.
But the TUC itself,
you see,
the TUC itself has stated that their reps protested and that the board minutes will bear that out.
Have you seen it?
No, that's what they've said.
SNIT I don't have a problem. No, I don't have a problem. Let us see the board minutes.
Right.
So that we all will know whether indeed and in fact the rep, TUC rep, who chairs the procurement committee of the board, who as we speak is still superintending this process, actually protested that it was okay for SNIT to continue supporting an investment that was giving the pension fund that they were managing 1.5% return on investment. If it was your property, if it was your business that you had invested in that was giving you 1.5% return on investment, will you keep it? Randy, I'm asking you a personal question. Will you keep it? But yes, it's Brian Achampo.
I won't sell Labadi.
You won't sell Labadi?
I never will.
Okay.
Because
so,
I understand that industry.
I don't have a problem.
Yes.
I don't. But I'm saying...
There is no way I'll sell Labadi.
So you sell Ridge Royale?
I won't sell.
You will sell Apam?
I won't sell.
You sell Elmina Beach?
I will not sell.
You will sell Buzia Beach?
I won't sell.
You sell Charles Lodge?
I don't even know Charles Lodge.
Or it's in Beach Road, Takrady?
I don't know.
In fact,
I don't know
2019, Zilch, 2010, Zilch, 2011, Zilch, 12, Zilch, 13, Zilch, 14, Zilch, 15, 16, 17. It was only in 2018 that he made a turnover of 508. Tax profit of 4,224. 2019, turnover of 456,947. Net loss of 117,440. 2020, 213,157. Net loss 177,424. 2021, 415. Net loss 100. You keep it. you still invest money in it. No, don't worry.
No, because you're asking me. Because you're asking me a question. You see, I would first of all, if you
I have to come and see you to see how.
No, because you're asking me a question.
You can find some money for me to invest in some ventures that will not give you any return.
Not money. I'm saying that, Bobo.
You would have sold First Atlantic?
Bobo, hold on.
Now I want to know.
No, you asked me a question about the hotel.
You won't sell
I'm saying,
because you know the industry.
I am saying that I would first of all ask myself, how come Labadi is doing well and La Palm is not doing well? I must ask myself that question. How come Ridge Royal is doing well and Bejaya is not doing well? I need to ask myself those questions.
And do you think they haven't asked?
I need to I have not seen proof of that.
And so the basis for the decision was just...
I haven't seen proof of that because if
that they engaged the transaction advisor...
We all know, no, the transaction advisor was to do a different thing. Because you see, look, SNIT itself had taken a decision on this management with legacy and all that. A new administration takes office, they decide that they don't want to continue with that. They take a management decision and appoint people to go and manage those hotels. And in the last 7 years that they took the decision, this is how low those hotels have gone. So I will approach it differently. That's you're asking me the question. But I'm not the SNIT board. I will approach it differently because it won't make sense to me that La Palm, which has a lot more resources than Labadi, will go down the way it's gone and Labadi will be managed the way it's managed. There must be something fundamentally wrong. And that is what they must identify. Who appointed the people to run La Palm the last how many years?
Is that the question that Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is asking?
No, you asked me a question, so I'm giving you my answer.
So you were giving me your answer?
Yeah, you asked me a question, so I'm giving you my answer.
Right. But thankfully, you haven't put out peace to challenging raising issues of conflict of interest. You haven't organized a demonstration inciting La chiefs and youth for your political...
But let's be a bit careful.
I'm coming.
And not create the impression that because the chiefs don't have...
No, that's not
the
what
chiefs don't have
said.
the capacity
No. I listened to Neil and Van der Poel.
Yes.
I was sad.
Why?
The kinds of things that he said. The Ghana that big people, their lands. Hey, Randy, let's be cautious with our utterances because we are leaders, and our words carry a lot of weight. You heard him make reference to some statements that some people were making from Ashanti and other places. It may not necessarily be on all fours, but the kind of language that you hear on the screen that you showed. Why? So SNIT has made an investment on land that is acquired and is taking a decision that, look, this investment that I've made is not making me the requisite return for my shareholder, which is the pension fund. And we all are SNIT contributors. It's giving me only 1.5% return in 15 years. Who will hold on to it?
Why is SNIT holding on to STC?
I'm not aware whether SNIT is the owner of STC.
80%.
I don't have a problem. They can take a decision.
80%. GOG 20%.
I don't have a difficulty at all. You can ask the question. But I'm saying that just as they took those decisions to divest themselves of their interest in the financial sector when Okudzeto Ablakwa was in government and his activism had been buried. Profitable banks. I used to work in one. So, how do we approbate and reprobate? How do individuals have double faces? And they claim to be principled. And he says in his statement that what? The state assets should be sold at expense of profitable. Historically, since 1966, the state of sale of state has not been in the supreme interest of Ghana. And therefore cannot continue on that destructive trajectory. The diversity implementation
does that not speak for his consistency?
So let's go back and reverse all those transactions all the way to 1966. Let him lead that course. That because all of these have not been in the national interest, reverse all of them.
Is that legally possible?
Are you asking me?
Yes, you are the lawyer on the table. You are the lawyer on the table. You are advocating for it.
You see, when we are being principled, we should be consistent in our principle, so people can support you. But what he's doing is pure politics. Pure. Because the law does not support you.
The law.
What law supports him? The constitution that he makes reference to. Does not support you.
You mean the case of Shraj?
Of course.
Okay.
So he's making a call to pass a private member's bill to now bar public officers.
Clarity. It says there are gray areas people are taking advantage of.
Where's the gray? Where's the gray?
Like some of the things you have quoted and where you have navigated through.
And you put profitability figures out, that is completely false. And now you say, oh, it's gross profit. So why didn't you state it that, oh, this is gross profit and net profit, they made so much? The information is there.
But it's still
I do not for the life of me see how any conscientious contributor will support an investment that gives 1.5% return in 15 years. 48 million cedis is what all that Labadi Beach, the most profitable of all, has paid by way of dividends to SNIT over the period.
Which of SNIT's investments, which of their investments makes more than that?
I don't know. If you have the figures, you can
share
it.
Maybe.
No, I don't.
Maybe we must interrogate that.
I don't. For 15 years?
No, I'm saying we must ask which of SNIT's investments
so
makes more than that.
I don't have a difficulty when we ask the question that, look, is SNIT making worthwhile investments for the contributor on behalf of the fund owners that they manage? I don't have a problem at all. Let's interrogate it. But to single out an individual whose company has responded to a public bid published in the local and international media, merely on account of the fact that he's a minister of state, when no law bars him from doing so,
right,
then it reduces the conversation to the politics that you are doing. Because I wasn't excited in 2013 when SNIT took the decision to dispose of First Atlantic Bank in the manner that it did. But of course, it was political. Because Judata had gone to give evidence against somebody that they didn't like. And so closed his bank. Damn the consequences. That's exactly what they did then. Is that what is happening today? Obviously not. But for the likes of Samuel Okudzeto, I don't want to use the word holier than thou posturing that sometimes he takes. Well, you have a record in government. So please, look, I'm saying that if there are questions that ought to ask, by all means, ask them. But on this particular transaction, Brian Achampon has not erred. His company, Rock City, has not erred. It was a legitimate process that SNIT board had approved. Collectively, were executing through a transaction advisor that had been validly and legitimately appointed. He participated. He's won the bid. Of course, some representations have been made to His Excellency the President. He's directed the Labour and Pensions Minister to look into it. I do not want to preempt the outcome of that process. But to the extent that it's a legitimate transaction, I think we should stop the politicking and let the institutions work.
Doc.
And before I go on this taxpayer ledger thing.
Yes.
In all honesty, I did not even know that Ghana Revenue Authority had a system in this nature. What I know is that at the end of the year, every company is enjoined to prepare their annual accounts ending 31st December of the previous year. and have up to 30th March to file.
In the ensuing year.
Yes, in the ensuing year. So Rock City's 2023 or any other entity's 2023 accounts has to be filed physically at the Registrar General's Department and Ghana Revenue Authority. Rock City has not filed its 2023 accounts. And so it cannot, under any circumstances, be established by any individual that they have made losses in 2023. This document does not demonstrate that. It cannot. And so, my good friend.
Why does it not demonstrate that?
Where does it? They haven't filed their accounts.
They haven't filed their
They
taxes?
haven't. They have not filed their 2023 accounts.
They've not filed their taxes?
They have. Your taxes are filed by a certain date.
Yes.
30th March. Yes. They haven't filed it. Because they've written, oh, wait, I have the correspondence here. Okay. You can ask for extension of up to end of June to enable you file.
So
and
that's exactly done.
I'll show you the letter. So all these things. And so if they take you on to prove the date that they filed their 2023 accounts, pursuant to which you sit on national TV to allege that they have made losses when the accounts have not been filed, you'll be in trouble.
Even to the extent that these filings were made by them?
Oh, but Randy, I'm not going to question the authenticity of this document. I don't know. I haven't seen any GRA document like this before in my life.
Okay.
I don't know. He says he intercepted. But I'm saying that filing of accounts and paying your taxes is a matter of fact, which is initiated by the entity in compliance with law.
Yes.
That entity has not filed its 2023 accounts as we speak.
Okay.
It has up to 30th of June to do so.
Okay.
And so if whatever the source of the document that you have intercepted does not include that fact, and you sit on national TV to make such allegation, they can take you on.
I'm sure he knows the repercussions of it.
So
yes.
that one is up to you.
Yes.
But the fact is that, Randy, if you permit me, I will show the letter that Rock City wrote to the tax authorities within their operational zone to request, and this was done April 18th, requesting...
They wrote the letter April 18, 2024.
Yes, 2024.
Okay.
Requesting that Rock City's accounts for 2023 are yet to be finalized by its external auditors, Deloitte. Having considered the scheduled timetable for the said audit, it is reckoned that the statutory deadline of 30th April would not be met. We are therefore humbly requesting for a 2-month extension period to enable us to submit our annual returns for 2023 year assessment without any penal consequences. On the strength of our cordial relationship, we trust that our humble request will meet your kind approval. Signed, Accountant. And this was filed on the 23rd, or received at the Nkoko Tax TSC. I don't know what that TSC means. Ghana Revenue Authority Client Services on the 23rd of April 2024.
Normal correspondence. Yeah.
So their accounts for 2023 have in fact not been filed.
Okay. Okay.
Doc.
Yes, sorry.
Ejapamesa can go ballistic. He can rave, he can rant.
Oh, he's only expressing his
He can call me names. He can call me holier than thou and all of that.
Yeah.
When he went on his tirade, I thought that he was going to provide one example. One example.
Versus the Santa Claus.
One. Just one example.
Yes.
Of an NDC minister, whilst I served in government,
yes,
purchasing a state asset,
yes,
and I didn't protest,
okay,
or I didn't raise an issue, then you can accuse me of double standards.
Okay.
What he does this morning is to deliberately broaden the discussion about SNIT selling.
Yes.
Is that what this matter is about? Okay. I have said that I have long held the view and the Supreme Court records are there, that public officials should stay away from such transactions. That is the gravamen of this issue. That is what the issue is about. That public officials should not purchase state assets. They should not come anywhere near these transactions. The smack of conflict of interest, insider dealing, it is immoral, it is unethical. It is totally unacceptable.
Based on what law?
That is what the issue is.
Pursuant to what law?
If
What
the,
law?
if the Constitution did not hold the view that public officials should stay away from these transactions, and that even if they will participate, they must declare their interest. That is why, under Article 78 and 98 of the Constitution, if you are a minister, you are an MP, and you want to engage in an office of profit, hold an office of profit, you must apply to the Speaker. One of the issues that I have raised is that the Honorable Brian Champon failed to comply.
Bobo has consistently applied to run
Yes,
the law firm.
yes. And indeed, he's among the 47 MPs and ministers who have complied. The Honorable Brian Champon hasn't complied. So when he sits here and raises and rants that what law has been breached and what constitution has been breached and all of that.
Is it conflict of interest?
Please, let me proceed. So it is
Unbelievable.
in that provision. Read Article 78.3 carefully. You see that because of conflict of interest concerns, and Article 287 is clear that the forum for conflict of interest, resolving conflict of interest issues, and in Okuja to Ablako Mane Boama versus Jacob Echebilan, the Supreme Court held that the forum is Shraj. So this is a matter that I have been consistent on. The attempt to call me names this morning will not wash. I've been very consistent that public officials should not engage in transactions of this nature.
Your wish or consistency cannot amount to law.
So this deliberate obfuscation, and let's broaden the issues.
Your wish can never be the law.
I've given you the constitutional. Why didn't he comply with
I'm saying
with the constitution?
that if he has breached Article 78,
please let me proceed.
Recourse charge.
So Doc.
Is charge your recourse?
Let them determine that. Let them determine that.
Point number two. You need to refresh your mind on the Anani ruling by Shraj. And if you refresh your mind on that ruling, you will not be making these submissions. Point number 2. He makes the case that
I was involved directly in Anani case.
I have embarked on these demonstrations and other activism because I don't have confidence in the Shraj case. Okay. He knows that Shraj does not have the power to injunct.
Yes.
Documents are intercepted after my Shraj petition revealed that they were going ahead with the deal. Indeed, as we speak, SNIT has issued statements, public statements, indicating that they are going ahead with this transaction. Despite organized labor's protest to the president on the 20th of May, the president directed them to go see the employment minister and the SNIT board. When they went for those meetings, organized labor has told us that SNIT and the employment minister sought to convince them. Faced with this situation, what will conscientious citizens do? You wanted us to sit, fold our arms. We know Shraj doesn't have the power to injunct, but we should just sit back, be docile, and not carry out other constitutional rights available to us. Is that what he's suggesting? That is why we embarked on this demonstration.
It was a charade.
Point number three. If you listen to Ejapa Mensah carefully this morning, he's virtually suggesting that Ghana chiefs, the Lawuloma, don't have a brain of their own.
That's not what I said.
They are not rational. They are not discerning. I had to come and incite them. That's what he said. That I'm doing incitement.
That is the impression.
Incitement. Yes. Okay. Hey. Be careful, oh. You are on their land and look how you are talking to them. Be very careful.
You know when they said, hey, you know what came to mind?
No.
Hey, Atu.
Yeah, the same guy. You know,
this is your propaganda.
I'm totally astonished.
This is your propaganda.
Today, our revered chiefs can't think for themselves.
Hey, Japan.
Hey, Japan. Hey.
I'm saying that no.
That the Wulomo. I have to come from North Tongue to convince him, to tell him that this matter is bad for him. He can't reason. He doesn't have council of advisors, council of elders that I have to come and incite him. Honorable Ejapamesa, what really are you telling the guard chiefs this morning? So look, nobody has to wait for me. These are discerning people. The thousands who marched on the streets are discerning. Is Ejapamesa aware that it is not only the guard chiefs who are complaining? I hold in my hands here a letter signed by Nana Kojo Kondua the says, the Omanhini of the Dina Traditional Council, protesting against the sale of Elmina. And this letter, 29th March 2022, long before I even heard that this deal had been hatched. The Omanhini, that one too, I went to incite him. The Dina Traditional Council, I went to incite them. So please, let's treat our chiefs with some respect. The next point that has to be made very, very forcefully. This business of who wouldn't sell when making losses, who won't sell. We must appreciate that if you have an investment that is not doing well, in your estimation, and in this case, SNIT has been exposed. Their 19th May statement, we sought to, just generalize and paint all these hotels with the same brush. They have been exposed. The profitability of Labadi Beach Hotel is no longer in doubt. But the question that many Ghanaians ask is that, is your only remedy sale? So what happened to change of management? Why can't you try that? And we tried that in the case of Labadi Beach Hotel, and it worked. So the Labadi Beach Hotel story is a classic case study for us to follow. Then you see, these people betray themselves and they betray their double standards when they go on this trajectory of lack of profitability. Last week, I came here with the SIGA report. And I read what SIGA has told Parliament about STC. Indeed, STC, where SNIT has 80% shares, is the worst performing investment of SNIT. In 2017, STC made a loss of 28.9 million Ghana cedis. In 2017. In 2018, STC made a loss of 18.1 million Ghana cedis. In 2019, a colossal loss, an astonishing loss of 27.9 million Ghana cedis. In 2020, a loss of 32.5 million Ghana cedis.
That's COVID. They weren't operating.
In 2021, a loss of 52.4 million after COVID. Indeed, according to SIGA.
The border was closed.
According to SIGA, how about 2017, 2018, 2019?
Yeah.
How about 2021, 2022,
that's fair.
2023?
That's fair.
According to SIGA, this has become the worst SNIT investment, where on the average, they are making 32 million losses. STC.
That's a conclusion.
Nana Komia's STC, yes. Nobody in cabinet is interested in STC. The saviors in cabinet, the saviors, the ministers who can save state assets.
But who is saying that this is a cabinet decision?
Nobody is interested.
There's no.
Who says that is a cabinet
There's no
decision?
transport entrepreneur
Nobody
in
is
cabinet.
interested. Those.
Is this even a cabinet
How about the beachfront entrepreneurs? No, none of them.
Randy.
None of the entrepreneurs.
Is this even a cabinet decision?
None of the entrepreneurs are interested. Nobody in government. SNIT itself is not interested that workers, 80% shares, see the hemorrhage, see how our contributions, see how we are bleeding, So you see how they defeat themselves. If really